Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make a little project. This is one that I've been doing for a number of years, probably maybe for the last 15 years or so forth. And basically, there's a lot of them on the YouTube channel right now, and it's the Wine Bottle Wind Chime. So. We've been doing these for a long, long time, but my wife said she thought we ought to do one for the YouTube channel. So she talked me into it. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and give you my version of the wind chime made out of a wine bottle. So anyway, the first thing you're going to need, I'm going to show you a cast of characters we're going to use here. First of all, obviously, we need some wine bottles. So my wife and I don't drink wine, but we have, where we live, we have several wine clubs, and all you have to do is tell people, hey, we're looking for some wine bottles, and here they are. When we lived in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, there was an Italian restaurant we used to go to a lot, and I asked the manager there one time if he had any wine bottles. He says, go out in the back there, and there was about 50 cases of wine bottles. He says, pick anything you want. So anyway, we got a group of bottles here. So we need some bottles, and we're going to cut about the bottom inch and a half or so off of them, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the project. And so I drew up a little drawing here. It's not to scale, but you guys can get an idea how we're going to do this. So we'll bring this little drawing in here, and we'll lay it sideways so that way you can see the whole thing here. So we're going to start right at the top right here. We're going to have the 16 gauge jack chain. We're going to use a 7/8 inch split ring and a ball bearing swivel like we've used on the other. They'll be here on the top part of this. Down, here's our bottle here. Down in the bottom right here, we're going to use the same 7/8 or 1 inch split ring. It's going to go into the neck of the bottle here, and it's too big to go all the way up in here. So from here to here, we're going to run a piece of number 12 or number 14. Here it is right here, copper wire. The 14 is a little bit smaller. It's a little easier to work with. The 12 I prefer. It's way overkill as far as strength goes, but I just like the way it looks. And what we'll do is we'll create a loop on the bottom here, on this part of it. We'll run it up through, and we're going to put a cork right in here, and we're going to drill a hole through the cork. And right at the top here, we're going to want to use one of those little set collars that we used in some of the other projects, like the pinwheel projects, and some of those things where we use the little set collar. And then we're going to go on up and we'll make a loop on the end of our wire. That'll be the top part of it. And on the bottom part, after we put our split ring in here, we're going to use a 50-pound monofilament. Looks like this. Probably way overkill, but I like to build things so they last. These are going to be out in the wind, so you want to be sure they stay together. And from there, you're going to run monofilament down to a square piece of glass. So we're going to use just a plain clear glass. This one here happens to be 4 mil, which works well. We'll drill a hole in the corner here when we cut the size for it. We're going to allow, if the inside of the bottle measures 2.5, we're going to cut this piece at 2 so that we'll have about a 1/4 inch gap on each side, so that it can go back and forth to create the gong noise, or create the chime part of it. So from here to here, we'll probably bring this down here as far close to the bottom of the bottle as we can get to it. And then from there, we're going to have a hole in the top, a hole in the bottom, and then we're going to run the 50-pound monofilament on down to a larger square, which will be the one that will be hanging down. And we're just going to use a pretty piece of glass here. We'll cut that at 3x3 square. We'll mount it on point, and it'll be down here. This will be the one that'll blow around in the wind, and it'll give us our chime effect as it makes the gong move back and forth through here and just touch against the glass. So it'll be a fun project. To cut the bottoms off of these, you probably have looked, if you've looked on your YouTube stuff, There's about 100 ways to cut these bottles. I'm going to use a wet saw. It's this one I have is made by Skill. I've had it for like almost 30 years or so. They're not very expensive. You can get one at Harbor Freight for around $60, and it does just a fine job. But anyway, we'll set this up to cut off about this much of it, and when we get it cut off, we'll come back and we'll show you the finished product on. So anyway, that's the cast of characters. So we're going to need some monofilament line. We're going to either need 12 gauge or 14 gauge copper wire. This is just regular household wire. You buy this at the hardware store. You buy it by the foot. The 12 gauge wire, a lot of times you can find it where it has no insulation on it. 14 gauge is a little harder to find. If you can't find any that's bare, just get it with the insulation and just take a X-Acto knife and cut the insulation off until you get down to the copper. If it's kind of all curled up, just put it in a vise and just take a pair of pliers and give it a good pull, and you'll straighten it right back out. So that's the way that's going to go. The cork is something that we're going to get that's right here. They're just out of the bottles when you get the wine. What we'll do, we'll set that in here, and we'll put it up against our workbench, and we'll force it all the way down to go flat against the top. And then when we drill our hole here, we'll put it right in the center here. That just helps keep that aligned. You could bypass this step if you don't like that, and just let the copper wire come through here and just center itself down in the neck area with our split ring. So that's kind of up to you. As far as the set collar goes on the top here, again, that's your option on that. I like to pull this up tight in here and put the set collar on it to hold it, and then we'll go on up and put our loop on it. So anyway, that gives you kind of a rundown of what we're going to make. Like I say, this is not to scale, but if you're interested, you could probably just pause the video and take a screenshot of this to kind of give you an idea of what this is going to look like. So we got our bottles. As you can see, we've got the labels all off of them. That's always a chore. I found the best way to do it. Take a bucket of water or a pan of water. Submerge your bottle. I use a little bit of Dawn soap on it. And if you have access to hot water, you use the hottest water you can get to help loosen the glue on the labels. But let it set for an hour or so, and then come back. You can use a razor blade scraper and kind of peel it off. Sometimes they'll come off real easy. Sometimes they're harder to get off. But after you do that, take a paper towel and some lacquer thinner and just wipe the bottle clear. That'll take care of any residue that's left over from the glue. So we're going to get started here. So first thing we're going to do is we'll go outside, and we got our wet sauce set up. We do that outside because wet sauce can be a little bit messy because they use water to cool the blade, and you'll see when we get out to use that why we do it outside. After we get done with the wet saw part of it, we're going to come back in here, and then we're going to do a couple other things before we go ahead and we assemble this together. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, we're at the point in our video where we're going to take and cut our wine bottles now. So I'm going to use a wet saw here. This is a little skill saw. I've had this for about 25, maybe 30 years. It uses a glass blade in here. It's water cooled, or uses water to keep the blade from overheating. Also makes it cut the glass smoother. As you can see here, I've done a couple things. So here in the back here, I've got a couple little ramps right here. I'm going to use that as a backstop as I roll my bottle up on it. And then we have a backstop here, so we can take and this is where the back side of the bottle will ride against here. So we'll take a bottle and set it in here. It's going to roll up here like this. And when I get ready to saw this, I'm going to just take and push this in real slow until I hit against my backstop, and then I'll take and I'll rotate it in a forward direction as the blade is going in this direction, so that we'll get a nice smooth cut. You want to go slow. I've got this set up so when this is sitting in here, if you look real close, it's going to catch just about 1/4 of an inch inside the bottle right here, so that you don't have too much of the blade sticking inside the bottle. So I've used this saw for this project for many years, and it's worked out very well over the time. I apologize a little bit for the noise in the background. We're here in Southern California. It's real hot today and everybody's air conditioner is going. So we're going to have a little bit of ambient noise in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. I'll put the camera back on a tripod and we'll get this sawed out. So we'll be right back. All right, we're going to get ready to go here. I do want to point out a couple things. One, I had this outside because we're using water in the system, and this gets somewhat messy because the blade has a tendency to want to throw the water out. So we leave this guard shield up here so that when we get ready to shut this off, we'll bring the guard shield down so that it doesn't throw water on you. So we're going to go over the other side now and we'll get ready to go. So we're going to come over here and right now, and we're going to take and turn it on. I'm going to take and rotate the bottle real slow here. If you end up with a little chip like that, all you have to do is just take and go right up against the saw right here. Just put your blade in here. Just move that right off there. And you can get that smoothed down so you got it where it's nice and smooth. So you get a nice smooth cut here. If you find any little high points on it, you can just take this. So that's what we want to get right here. We want this to be nice and smooth here. I'll take some emery board now and smooth out the inside of it here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll build our wine bottle chime. So anyway, that's the whole deal with the wet saw. Works quite well, and your success rate is very, very high. If you go real slow, you don't have any issues with it. So we'll go ahead and get ready to finish this project up and give everybody a take a look at it when it's done. All right, we're back. So we got our bottles cut now. So here's what it looks like on the bottom. So it came out nice and smooth for us. I just took a emery board and knocked off any sharp edges around here and around the inside. So we're ready to put the unit together. Now you could just use it just like this if you wanted to and go ahead and assemble it with all of our steps. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sheet of vinyl. Here again, this is cut out on my Cricut. And I cut out some hearts and I cut out some stars. And what we're going to do, we're going to take and put the hearts all at random around on this bottle, and then I'm going to take and sandblast it, somewhat like I did in the video that we did for the plaque for our anniversary. If you watch that video, you can see how we did that. So we're going to sandblast this off. So this bottle is going to come out. It's going to have the stars or the hearts, depending on where we put the hearts on here, or the stars. The stars, they're going to come out all shiny and glossy. The rest of the bottle is going to be frosted from the sandblasting. So this is one of them we're going to do. The other one I'm going to do, I got another one here, and here's the other one. And now this one here has a vinyl stencil on it too, and it's got musical notes on it. And this one here we're going to sandblast, and when we take it off, the musical notes will be sandblasted in the glass, and the rest of the bottle will be shiny. And then after we do that, we'll go ahead and we'll reassemble them. But for the hearts, you just have to take a little straight pin like this, and we're gonna put these stickers on here. And you could use stickers if you had some. We're going to put these stickers on here at random. So I've got some big ones here, right here. This one here is like 2 inches, and let's just put it right there. Like I say, there's no rhyme or reason to where we're going to put these. We'll pick it off here. We'll come down here and we'll stick one on here. And what that's going to do when we sandblast this will block the sand from going onto that area, and it will create a shiny heart. So we're just going to pick up one more here. Like I said, we're going to just stick them on here at random. And we got a couple more right here. So you can pick these out here. Just like that. So I'll go offline and put the rest of them on. I'll come back and show you what we did when we got 3 different sizes that I made. I made a 2-inch, a 1.5, and a 1-inch. So we're going to scatter them all over here. So we may even put one up here on the neck. We'll see if we can get it to go on there. So I'll get this all taken care of as far as the stickers go, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get ready to sandblast it. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back real quick here. So we've got all our stencils on our bottle now, just at random. And so, like I said before, when we sandblast this will keep behind here will stay glossy, and everything else here is going to be frosted from the sandblast. So we'll get that done, and then when we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll show you how to assemble it. So this bottle here, they're all kind of a little bit different. This bottle here, it measures just a little over 2.5 on the inside. So the one that we cut to go up inside here, we'll make it just about 2 inches, so it can work back and forth in here, and that'll give us a nice sound as it moves around. So anyway, that's how we're going to get the stickers on here. You could use painter's tape and just put stripes around this. If you're really good at cutting things out with an X-Acto knife, you could take and put painter's tape on it and then cut out a design. You could do a flower. You could do any kind of thing you want to do on this. It just kind of dresses it up a little bit over just leaving the bottle plain. So we'll get these sandblasts. We'll do this one, and we'll also do the one with the music notes on it. You notice I've got it all taped off here already, so we don't want to get any sandblast on the bottle. We want it to stay shiny, and our music notes will be kind of a frosted color. So these are going to be the 2 that we're going to work with right here. So we'll get them all sandblasted, and then we'll go on from there. So anyway, stick around. We'll get ready to assemble this when we get back. All right, well, we're back as we got everybody sandblasted. As you can see, the family has grown here from the earlier start of this project. So we've got several different ideas here. The ones that we sandblasted, we'll let you take a look at it. I did several different kinds. in several different styles. So we'll take a look at it. The term sandblasting is primarily pretty generic. Basically, these are blasted with what they call, I'm using a product called garnet. It's a medium, aluminum oxide, several other things they use to etch your products with. And like I said, not everybody has the sandblasting capabilities. There are some etching creams that are available, and you can find them on Amazon. Just type in the search bar glass etching cream, and you'll get a whole bunch of them pop up. And they work quite well. They don't give you quite the depth that a sandblaster gives you, but they give you the frosted look. So let's move a couple of these out of the way here, and we'll go to the two that we started with. And this is the first one right here. This is the one with our notes on it. If you remember, the stencil was wide open, and it blocked only this area here. So that's how that one came out. And then the other one we played with, that was the one with the hearts. This is the one where we left the heart. The hearts were put on here, and then we frosted the whole bottle. So that kind of gives you a look how that comes out. So we basically have flattened all the gloss on the bottle except for the hearts. And then I've got an example here. This one here has got stars on it. I took just a piece of 3/4 inch, or this is 1 inch painter's tape, and made a couple bands on this one here. And then I took and added the stars to it. And this is the one where the stars are blocking the media from sandblasting. And here's another one. And this is one here with stars on it that I took and I masked everything off except for the stars. So you can see the contrast of the two different ones, how they come out. So there's a whole bunch of things you can do with these. And then we put some flowers on some. Here's one with a set of flowers on it. Put a little decorative up here on the neck of it. So we've got a couple flowers, that one. Here's another flowered one right here. And then we have one more flowered one right here. So that just shows you some of the things that you can do with them. And finally, the one with all the polka dots on it. Here's how that one came out. So lots of things you can do with it. So we're going to get ready to put this all together now to make our wine bottle wind chime. And what we're going to do, we're going to get our clapper to go in here, and then we're going to have it come down. We're going to have a 3x3 square down here on point. We're going to drill holes in them, and then we're going to use a monofilament line to put it together. I'll show you how we drill the holes. We've done that in some other videos, but we'll go ahead and do it one more time so you get an idea how this is going to look. So we'll be back in a minute when we get ready to assemble this, and we'll go over how we're going to do that. Okay, well, we're back. We got to make a couple little pieces here before we go ahead and assemble our project. I picked these three to play with here. We're going to do the one with the musical score on it. We're going to do the one with the reversed hearts on it. And we're also going to do one here with the flower on it. So what we need to do is bring our drawing in here. We need to do these two little pieces here. We need to make this little guy, and then we need to make the one to catch the wind down here. So for those, I've chosen some, these are just 4 mil glass. We're going to put them on point here to take care of this. So we need to drill some holes in here so we can get them on here. And so this is what our wind catcher is going to be made out of. They're 3x3. I just took them around at the edges on them and just hit them lightly with a grinder so they have no sharp edges. So I've marked these quarter inch down, so that's where we'll drill our holes. So if you're watching my other videos, you'll know we're using a diamond tip drill on a Dremel, and I'll show you real quick how to do that. This is the drills we're using right here. These are from Amazon. They're not very expensive. A bunch of them come, I think there's 30 of them in a pack. The ones we're using today, these are 3 mil. They drill a 3 millimeter hole. They make some 2.5, and I think they also make a 1.5. I like the 3 millimeter hole. It's a nice size. You can put, if you decide to use a copper wire to hang things, you can use the copper wire, or in our case, we're going to use a monofilament. but you still have a nice size hole, but it's not too big to interfere with any of your projects. So to get started here, we're going to use a Dremel tool. We're going to use it on high speed, and I've got a tip already in here. But the important thing, and this is really important, these have to be drilled with water. So we're going to bring in this lovely pan I have here. I have an old pie pan in here, and I have a piece of glass on the bottom here. So I'm going to set our first, we'll call this this is going to be the one that clings inside, okay? And so it has to have 2 holes in it. So we're going to take some water and we're just going to fill it, and we're going to fill it just above the level of that. Just about right there, so it's above the level of our glass. And then when you get ready to drill, just turn your Dremel on, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to put it right at this intersection right here. And I'm just going to set my drill about a 45. And then I'm going to lift it up, and it goes ahead and put that's all there is to it. So you don't have to push on it hard. The Dremel will just go ahead and work out. So put your finger right here. These won't cut your fingers, so don't worry about it. So there's for our clapper, and we'll do one of the large ones too. Now the large ones only need 1 hole in it, because they're going to hang from like right here. So they just need 1 hole in it. So we'll do these here. Here again, I've got it marked here where I want this. I've got several different colors here. We'll just move it around here. Now I'll do an orange one here. So there you go. There's our holes right there. So since we've got those drilled now, we'll go ahead and start to assemble these so we can go ahead and get the project all done. So we'll be back in a minute, and I'll drill up all the rest of these for all the other projects a little bit later, but just so we don't have the video run real long. But I just want to show you how to do that. If you watch some of my other wind chime videos, you'll see us do the same thing. But remember, it's important, keep it underwater, and make sure you start at about a 45 and bring your drill up. You get a nice cut. Some of the drills will drill maybe 20, 30 holes without any problem. Some of them have a lighter coating on the top for some reason, and you won't get quite a longevity out of those. They're not very expensive, so if you have one that's starting to take a long time to get your hole drilled, just toss it and put another one in and start over. So anyway, I've had really good luck with these. They make some that are just straight edge. I've used both of those. I like the round one better. It seems to drill faster and seems to be smoother, but that's just my preference. So whatever you're using, just go ahead and work with that. So we'll be back in a minute, and we're going to get ready to thread these and fill these bottles up with our pieces. Okay, we're back. So we got our holes all drilled for our glass pieces here. So we're ready to assemble this little project. So We've got our, this is going to be the one that goes at the bottom. It's going to catch the wind. This is our clapper. It's going to go up inside. It's going to be hung by a monofilament line. We've got some corks here. We're going to put a cork in here and press it down all the way, and then we're going to drill a hole through it. We've got our 50-pound monofilament line. I've got some crushed tubes that we're going to use to close that line off with. These are the ones where you feed the two lines through and then you crush it and it can't get out of there. We've got our little set collars right here. They're going to go on our number 12 wire. That'll be coming through the hole that we're going to drill here. We've got our, this is a 7/8 inch or 1 inch split ring. That's going to go underneath here that we're going to take and hook our monofilament to. And then we've got a swivel that we're going to put on it. The chain that we put on it is probably going to only be about 6 or 8 inches long. It'll hook onto a loop that we're going to make in our 12 gauge wire that comes through the top here. So we're going to start with this one with the music on it, and from there we'll go on. So we're just going to take a cork here. I've kind of cut them down a little bit so they'll go on a little bit easier, but I left the top here the way it was. If you want to, you could put a little bit of white glue on those. They fit pretty tight. So we're going to sit it in here, and then I'm going to go up against the edge of my workbench, and I'm going to push it down flush with the top of that bottle. So stand by here. We'll get this pushed in here. Okay, so we got that pushed in there. It took quite a bit of pressure. Now I'll take and drill a 3/32 hole right through the middle of it here to go down. And our wire will go down. Our wire will go down through that hole down to here, and it will hook onto our split ring here. And then we'll be able to, we'll leave this long like this, so then we'll be able to adjust how we're going to do the, how much monofilament line we need down here to put our clapper in here. So anyway, so let's go ahead and I'll go offline and drill that hole real quick, and then when we come back, we'll get ready to thread it up. Okay, so I'm back. I got the hole drilled in here now. So our number 12 copper wire will slide down inside here. If you have a long enough piece of copper wire, you can come all the way down here, and you can put your split ring on down here. If you don't have a long enough piece of wire, then you have to kind of be kind of tricky and come from inside and thread it through that hole. It can get a little bit tricky doing that way. So to speed things up here, we're just going to leave it this way. I buy this wire about 30 feet at a time from like Home Depot. It's a non-insulated number 12 wire, household wire. And so we're just going to slide it down here just like that. And then on the end here, what we're going to do, we're going to take our loop pliers, that's these guys right here, and we're going to put a loop on the bottom of this. And so we'll take it, see if I can get in here and do this. So we're going to take this, and you have a whole bunch of different size loops you can make here. So I think we'll do this one right here, this loop right here. And you just take and you put your pliers in here like this, push it down, and you start to turn it. Get in the picture here. Get the right one here. Now at this point here, you could put the split ring on if you wanted to, but since it's a split ring, we're just going to let it go. But we're going to push this away now, and we're going to let it come around to make it double like that. And then right here, I'm going to take and bend it back just a little bit. So it's going to be straight like that. Our split ring now, we'll just take and separate it. Take our split ring here. I'm just going to separate it apart, and we'll insert it in the loop that we just made. take a pair of long nose pliers here and run it on around. Just like that. All right, we're at the point in our video now where we're going to put our monofilament line onto our split ring here, which will hold our clapper, this guy right here, which will hold it in here. So anyway, the easiest way to do that is to take this and pull it back through here, all the way up. And because the bottle is somewhat transparent, you can see through here, take your ruler and just kind of line it up pretty close to where that bottom of that split ring is. Then take your clapper here, set it in here. We're going to probably want it to be, so I'm going to say about 5 1/4, 5 3/8, somewhere in there is where we want to make the clapper hang down. So now what we're going to do, we're going to push this back through. Push this back through. Get it out here where everybody can see it. And this can get a little bit tricky because the crush tubes are fairly small. But see if I can get one picked up here. Going to pick it up, slide it on my monofilament line, and then I'm going to put it back through here. And then you just take and you bring the tag end around, get them right on top of each other, and then slide the crush tubing over them. And you can bring this down right here, like that, make a little loop. Take a pair of long nose pliers, and you crush it. If you want a little extra insurance, take another one, set it in here, let it slide around. Bring it down, slide your tubing through it, and just run them right up against each other. I don't know if you can see that or not. Crush it. Then take the tag end here. This is the end. This is the end that's loose. Cut it off about 1/4 inch above your crush tube, like that. Okay, now we said about 5 1/2 inches. So let's do the same down here on this one here. We're going to take and let's put 2 of these on here. One here. I'm going to try to stay in the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put 2 of them on here. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to put this through here. Make sure I got a good clean cut here. If you don't have a good clean cut, it makes it really hard to get the tubing to go back through itself. There we go. Got that one on there. So let's take and we'll pull this up here. And we're going to come up here. Here again, we're kind of just eyeballing this. We're looking at about 5 1/4 or 5 3/8 of an inch. There's 5 1/2 right there. So we're going to come up a little bit more. That's just about 5 right there. So let's pull this down tight. Well, not going to be real tight. We're going to leave a little bit of, let's see where that's at. That should work right there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our crush tube and we're going to crush it right here. Could put it in a little bit tighter than that. Let's go back here and we'll clip this off a little bit. And we'll put our second crush tube on here. Pull it up, line them up. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm laying up the two pieces of monofilament on top of each other, and then the tubing goes over the both of them. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky. Here again, be sure that's really straight. I don't think I got it quite straight enough, because there's not much room here for them to get it through here. There it goes. Pull it down. Pull it right against it. Here, I'll get out of the way here. I'm going to pull it right against it. Now we're going to take and we're going to crush it. And we'll take the tag end here. Be careful you don't accidentally cut off the one you want to keep. That's the voice of experience talking. So now we'll see if we made a good choice here. We're going to pull this back in here. And we'll hold this up. That sounds like what we want it to do. Okay, so before we go ahead and finish off the top part of this, push it back out of here. Slide it back down. And on the bottom here now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a piece of monofilament, and that will be the one that we're going to tie onto into the one we're going to let hang in the wind to get this to move. So here again, I'm going to use maybe about 12 inches underneath there. That's a good start. Take and click it here. Here again, we'll get a couple crush tubes, stick it on here. Line it up. Come through our clapper, bring it back around. Get it lined up. Oh, almost had it there. There it goes. It's funny, when you get them lined up straight, they go on real easy, but it takes a little fooling around to it with it. All right, you got both of those to go in nice and straight. So here we're going to leave a little bit of a, pull it down so it can move freely here. We're going to take these now and we're going to crush them. Crush them. And we're going to cut the tag off here again about 1/4 inch from the edge. We'll take and pull this back in. All the way up. And now down here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get a couple more. We're going to stick them on. And I said about 12 inches. So if we come through here, come back around, bring our crush tubes up. Well, those two went right on real easy. That's how it's supposed to work. We take and we'll crush them. And we'll cut off the tag end here. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this up tight right here. This is our copper wire. And I'm going to come up here just about maybe about 3.5 inches or so. And I'm going to take and cut that. Then I'm going to take my set collar here. That's the little collar we've used before on some other projects. And I'm going to run this set collar down here. And I'm going to hold this set collar right against this. I want to be sure my ring inside here is straight up and down. And I'm going to take my set screw right here. And I'm going to tighten that up. Just like that. Okay, that sounds good. So now I'm going to take this end here. Here we again, we'll go back to our circle pliers. And I'm going to use the biggest one here. I'm going to use the biggest one for a couple reasons. One is if we want to put a chain on it, we can do that. Or two, if you just want to hang it directly by that. And so we're going to set this in here like this. Just flush with the start. And just start to roll it over. Roll it around. And we're going to go double here just like we did on the inside one. Just like that. And then we're going to put the back in here. We're going to put this back right here. And I'm going to turn this down. So we have a loop that looks like that. I'm going to go a little bit more. I want to have that more centered up. That looks good right there. By doubling this up here, it eliminates the chance of that ever getting out of there. And we can go ahead and hang our chain on it right there. I think what we'll do, we'll put maybe about a 8-inch chain on it. And then we'll put a ball bearing swivel on it. And we'll put another ring on top to hang it. So, or you could hang it right from here if you wanted to. All right, let me go get a piece of chain, and then we'll be back in 1 second. Okay, we're back. So we got our chain now. I'm going to put about an 8-inch of the number 16 jack chain. I've got to put a ball bearing swivel on it right here. Get it over here where everybody can see it. And I've got another split ring on the top here, so that will be what will be the final hanger. This is an open loop type chain, so we just have to take one of the loops, open it up, stick it in here, and we'll just take and we'll close it. Close it up. All right, there's our project. So we'll take it out and we'll hang it up and see if we can get some wind to blow it around. All right, well, we got our project outside now, so real happy with the way it came out. We don't have any wind going right now, so I just wanted to put it on a spinner here so you can see the sandblasting area all the way around. So I'll touch it and maybe make a little bit of noise here, see if we can do it to so we'll get a little bit of sound out of it. So anyway, when the wind comes up, we'll get a little bit of a sound out of it. So I hope you guys have followed along with the project, and hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you on the next video. So thank you for watching.